So first you access your Pixlr app and you click create a new image, name it with your first and last name, ELU 2019, press OK. Do not click transparent or mess with the preset sizes. First, before you do anything else, you need to go ahead and save it as a PXD. So go to File, Save, choose from the drop down the very last option, a PXD, press OK. Make sure that when you save it to your Chromebook that it is actually saving as a PXD and not reverting to a JPEG. So the next thing you'll do is open an image that you have saved. You'll select the marquee tool. You'll cut it out. Then you'll select the move tool and drag it over onto your canvas. If you don't drag it over onto your canvas that has your name at the top, then you're not saving anything to your project correctly. Shift and T, bring up your resize handles and you drag from a corner. We're going to select the clone stamp if you need to clone part of your background. Control and click is where you choose your new background from. I'm getting rid of this text at the bottom because it makes my picture look dumb. So that's one way that you can change your background. Next, we're going to add text. Go to the toolbox and click the little A that brings up your text box. You type into the box on the screen. This is where you choose the color. Drag the circle all the way around the color wheel to choose the color that you want. You'll use the inside triangle to choose the shade of that color or how bright it is or how dark it is. Press OK when you're happy with it. Here you can change the font. It will preview it on the screen for you. Select your size and type here. You can do regular, bold, italicized from this drop down box. And under the size one, you can either type in numbers or you can use the little scrolly thing to select the size that you want. You have to select the move tool to drag it around. You have to use the move tool to move anything around. And you have to be on that layer, on your layers box. So now we're going to insert a new image. And since it's Coach Ball's birthday, we're going to use her face. There she is. So we're going to cut out her head with our marquee tool, and then we get our move tool and drag it over onto our canvas. Her head was really big here, so we need to select Shift and T to bring up the resize handles. You may have to resize it a couple of times. I didn't hold down my shift button while I resized it, so now her head got kind of misshapen. So we'll just fix that in a minute. Same way, Shift and T, bring up your resize handles. So just resize it until you're happy with how it looks. Ignore my emails popping up at the top. So we're going to choose yes, we want to keep that image. And now I'm going to choose the eraser tool, and I'm going to choose a brush that does not have a hard edge but a softer edge. You can choose shapes also. We're going to choose a brush with a softer edge because we don't want to make her head look funky. And then you can just start erasing that layer. It doesn't make a hard line over her head, so it's a little bit more forgiving if you make mistakes and accidentally erase some of her hair. Again, not going for perfection here, just trying to show you how it works since I wasn't all that patient yesterday in the auditorium. Keep ignoring my notifications. So we're just using the eraser tool to get rid of all the stuff that we're not put in the circle. It's like a big Coach ball balloon of her head. So we're going to select the move tool to reposition her. I want to be sure and get rid of all the stuff around on the outside, so I am going to choose a larger brush that has a hard edge. See how it's making the hard edge on her hair, and it looks definitely photoshopped. We'll go back and select a brush with a softer edge to kind of soften that up a little bit. Now we'll select our move tool again to drag her wherever she needs to be. Let's resize her head again. Shift and T, bring up your resize handles again. Okay, I'm going to choose yes, keep it, and now I want to get rid of the part of her head that's in front of the balloons. So you select your eraser tool again, and you can just erase whatever part of her is in the way. Shh, be quiet, you guys. I wanted those balloons to show. So now we're going to choose our happy birthday text layer from the text box. From the layer box, and then we're going to edit that. If you right click or use your 2 fingers to tap your mouse pad, select layer styles, and this is where you can edit your text. You can choose from drop down or a drop shadow, an inner shadow, a bevel, an outer glow, and an inner glow. You can play with that until you think you're happy with your text. If you click on the words, it'll give you more options, but this is just an example, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to show you how to layer your images in Pixlr. So we're going to get a birthday cake since our happy birthday. We'll get our marquee tool back and cut out the part we want to drag over onto our canvas. So we're going to drag that part out. We have to, again, resize it because the cake was very large. You'll do Shift and T at the same time. Hold down your Shift button and drag it smaller, and then you choose wherever on your canvas you want it to go. Get the magic wand tool. Get the magic wand tool. Select the layer or the part of that layer that is a high contrast. You have to choose deselect all to get the blinky things to go away. And then you can position that cake or whatever it is that you've chosen wherever you want it. If you need to resize it, again, that's Shift and T at the same time to bring up those handles. So if we wanted to put something behind that cake, like a balloon, make it a balloon, we'll go ahead and choose our saved image. And choose your saved images because from your downloads. It says my files downloads, because if not, you get that aw snap error. So we're going to cut out what we want and use our move tool to drag it over to our canvas. We'll use Shift and T at the same time, again, to bring up those resize handles, and we'll resize it to whatever appropriate size you want. Drag it over. Use the magic wand tool again to grab that color, that contrasty color that is easy to pick out. Deselect. Okay, so now go back over to your layers and drag the layer down that you want more toward the bottom. So ignore that email too. So you had to go to your layers box and like physically choose for the cake to be on top of the balloon. So that's how you layer things. And I got rid of it. Be sure that when you're done, you're saving it again as a PXD. Every time you make a big change that took you a few minutes, save it as a PXD. You cannot edit anything if you don't save it as a PXD. When you're all the way completely done on Thursday, you'll go back and you'll save it as a PXD again, but then you'll also save it to print as a JPEG. That'll be the very, very last thing that you do.